Yesterday, I pulled my back pretty severely, enough that it took me about 15 minutes to get out of bed this morning. What I'm doing today is a test. I've heard about Andrew Huberman talking about hot therapy followed directly by cold therapy. I happen to have a sauna and I also have a cold plunge, although I have never used them sequentially before. The cold plunge just got working probably about a week ago. So, what better time to try out alternating hot and cold therapy? This is session one of the sauna. I'm going to do about a little shy of 20 minutes in here, and then I'm going to try to do 3 or 4 minutes in the cold plunge. Round one, 20 minutes of hot, followed by probably 3 or 4 minutes of cold, hoping that it helps my pull back. This is a first. Even with my phone under the bleacher thing, Gary is now complaining that it's too hot. Round one is done, and I enjoyed it immensely. It's the first time I've been in here in about 3 or 4 weeks because the weather's been so hot. It's hard to get the gumption up to get in here and get even hotter, but session one is done. Round one is done, and I will tell you this. Getting in a cold plunge after being in the sauna is so much easier than getting in a cold plunge on your normal body temperature. In fact, it felt fantastic. The water's 40 degrees. I would have sworn it was at least 60, and I stayed in for 5 minutes and it felt fantastic. Lesson learned here, going from the hot to the cold is definitely not that bad. All right, round two in the sauna. Let's do another 20 minutes and see how we feel. One of the perks of having your own sauna, bringing in fresh coffee. No rush, just enjoying the morning today. And I thought, why not bring coffee in there? I don't have to follow any rules. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool way to start your day. On a laughable side note, something I just learned about bringing coffee into a sauna. The cup actually gets so hot that it'll burn your lips. So be careful with that. That's the end of the second round, and I am very happy with the results. I'm not going to say I'm ready to run today, but I feel so much better than I did before. We'll definitely be doing this on a lot of my active recovery days. All right, round two done. And it's ironic, I'm reading this book about owning your shadow and how they balance each other out because this hot and cold therapy, it's shocking, no pun intended, that I stayed 25 minutes in here and it didn't feel that hot. I started really sweating about 17 minutes in, whereas the first session I was sweating at about 12 minutes in. So it just goes to show you how this hot and cold thing is working in congruence with each other to where you'd think going straight from the hot to the cold would be overwhelming, but it's actually nice and relief. And the same went for coming in this sauna. It took a while for me to actually start feeling like it was even warm in here, even though the temperature said otherwise. It feels really good. I'm not going to lie. This is the best the cold plunge has ever felt. Well, it's funny. I was actually really nervous about getting in here because my back was so bad this morning that the idea of stepping over this was extremely intimidating. But right now, I'm feeling a lot better. And I do not have, yesterday I had taken ibuprofen. It didn't seem to help much, and I don't have any in me today. There's nothing I can really attribute the mobility to other than just movement this morning. I did some red light therapy, but this back and forth thing, I think this is going to be part of my recovery day routine. Plan on investing. If you do this, it's going to take at least an hour of your time to go back and forth. If you're going to do 3 sessions, probably an hour and a half. But there's something to be said for active rest, where you're focusing on optimizing your recovery, taking a book like I am, and just saying, okay, I have issues like most of you out there with the idea of just being still and I'm not getting anything done. But in this case, you are getting something done. You're actually promoting your recovery. You're telling yourself that it's okay to rest, and it's an active type of rest, that you're recovering your body in a way that is restful, but is promoting recovery. And you're also giving your mind a break by reading something and not scrolling and all those things that we know don't do us a whole lot of good. And I have to say, right now, I feel so much better than I did this morning. If I was watching this video, I would think it was rigged, that this water wasn't cold or that sauna wasn't super hot. Uh, but it was. And I'm proof that there is something to this hot and cold, how kind of the two extremes kind of balance each other out and shock the body into doing what it does best, which is to board us as a living being. We just have to send it the signals and say, I need you to kick in right now. I need this from you. I feel like the worst thing I could have done, even when I could barely walk around this morning, I feel like the worst thing I could have done was lay in bed all day. And just, in fact, that's what a lot of people had said, oh, you strained your back, just lay in bed all day. And I respect that, probably right for a lot of people, but for me, I feel worse when I just lay still. I get even stiffer and stiffer. This protocol has now found its place on my recovery day. Yes, even during the summer, I will come in here and sweat it out. I'm I'm thinking it's a really good return on my investment for this cold plunge and this sauna. We're at 4 minutes, nearly 4 minutes in the cold plunge, and I feel fantastic. I feel like I could stay in here easily for at least another 4 minutes. And normally, the big giveaway is that I do not dump my hands until I'm like really ready. And I can only usually keep them underwater maybe a minute or so, and then I got to get them back out. And right now, I'm feeling great. This was a thumbs up. Hands are coming out of the water. Very happy with how all this went.